Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm Alfred Ip. Today we have Ray Yeung, a very famous director. Hello Ray.
Hello.
Can you introduce yourself a bit more? I mean, everyone knows that you are an award-winning director, but tell me more about yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm originally from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I went to the UK to study, went to boarding school and all that, and then to study law, actually. But then I changed my career, and then now I'm a filmmaker.
It's a smart move. Don't be a lawyer. So, I guess I would say that the movie that put you in the spotlight is the last movie, Suk Suk.
Yeah, in Hong Kong, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Right? It is a very new topic at the time because we were talking about gay men in their 60s not having the liberty of coming out, living the life of a gay man.
Yeah, I think any representation of older people in general in cinema is lacking anyway, and then let alone we are talking about the LGBT community. So therefore, in a way, my movie was representing a minority within a minority. So I mean, in that sense, yes, it was kind of special.
It is actually very special because I think not until recently that the challenges of the elderly are faced by the public. I mean, we were talking about earlier the recent sensational topic of an elderly man meeting someone very young. I mean, there are reasons for both sides, but it seems that nobody understands. The tabloid sensationalize it, not like the movie that you did. Yeah, making it really focusing on the dilemma or the challenges, a struggle among the individual. Mm-hmm. And that is the reason why you are the one who bring the LGBT issues to the wider public. Mm-hmm. And we forever thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
And the latest project, the one that is on cinema now, All Shall Be Well. Can you tell me more about what is the story about, how did it come about, and why is it inspiring you?
Okay, all right. Okay, the story basically came in 2020 when I went to a talk about the rights of LGBTQ community in Hong Kong, about their inheritance rights.
Is it me who's talking?
One of them, one of the speakers.
Okay, so at least my talk is inspiring.
Yes, actually, one of the speakers. And there were a few cases that were quoted.
Okay.
And basically, the situations of these cases were very similar to the movie that I eventually feature. It's about a couple, same-sex couple who have been together for over 40 years. One of them passes away suddenly, and then the other one have to deal with the deceased family members over the inheritance. And I interviewed some of those cases and find out that before the deceased passed away, the relationships between the family members and the surviving partner used to be very closed.
Yes.
And then it almost changes overnight in some cases. Some took a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, that was a very interesting topic to write about because you are dealing with various things. Of course, the rights of LGBTQ community in Hong Kong, the lack of legal protection for same-sex couples, and of course to examine what is family, especially in a modern context. I mean, are families just about blood related, just about next of kin, or is it about someone you have been together for a long time by your side through the years, although there's no legal protection? So that's what I want to explore with the movie as well.
It's wonderful because we always say family relationship, a lot of time, it's not something that you can choose, but you need to manage it well in order to avoid any sort of dispute. And tell me about why did you choose Maggie Li, Lin Lin?
Oh, okay. I actually watch. She is an actress who was very popular in the 80s in television. but she retired for over 30 years. So in order to find an actress to play Pat, one of the leading couples, I had to go back and watch 1980s TV series.
Yeah.
And I came across this old TV show called Five Easy Pieces in English. In Chinese, it's called 轮老卷.
It's amazing.
And you have watched it.
Yeah,
yes. So it was about five schoolgirls, basically, and then about them falling in love and all that. And Maggie was playing this young girl, but she was a lot more independent than the others. And then she was very, very career-minded. And I thought, wow, she had this quality that I wanted to feature in the character Pat. So I approached Maggie's husband, who is still acting, a famous actor called Geng Dai-wai. That's it, Geng Dai-wai. And so I approached him and asked him to basically introduce his wife to me.
She was the one who was more modern, more individualistic, more independent.
Yeah.
Who have her own thought and refused to fall into the mindset of the older generation towards, especially at that time, woman growing up, becoming a wife, becoming a mother, she refused to accept all this.
Yeah, and she wasn't like crying like all the other ones. She was a lot more sort of like strong-headed and things, yeah.
I mean, these kind of stories, a lot of time, most of the program would sensationalize them. Yeah, as you say, there would be a lot of crying, there would be a lot of screaming, shouting at each other. But the way that you portray the story is completely different. Is it because you are award-oriented?
No, I mean the main reason is because that in real life, the situations that the cases that I interview, the relationship became so tense and there was so much tension, and the family members was reacting so badly to the victim or the surviving partner that it was too melodramatic to feature it in a movie.
Indeed.
Because the audience, if they watch it, they will immediately think that, well, there's a good person here and there's a bad person here, and they will immediately identify with the good person and think that, well, detach from the bad, like watching Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that. I wanted the audience to watch the movie and somehow be able to empathize with that family members, understand why they also need the apartment, and from there they can actually decide for themselves. It's like, okay, if I am one of these family members, if suddenly I got this apartment, would I give this woman to stay there even though that I know she's my auntie's partner, they have been together for 40 years, and she possibly should be staying there. But now legally, I am entitled to it. Would I let her stay? So really, it's just for the audience to somehow, through this, able to actually question what they think about same-sex couple relationships, and also how homophobic they are.
And also it's about family dynamics, the change when there is a sudden loss of a key family member. Suddenly the dynamic changed because the couple, the survivor, widow, was only linked to that family because of the disease. When the connection is gone, all in a sudden reality comes into place. And we can all see from the movie how they change from one to another. At the beginning, they were very supportive towards the widow because they've been very, very good to them all throughout the years. And then later on, the reality kicks in. The reality is they're poor. And there's a very, very variable apartment that can only be unlocked to help their own poverty. And ultimately, we are all selfish, you see? Right?
Yeah.
Humans are selfish.
Yeah.
This is a lot of times what you call the environment or the reality to turn people into this antagonistic angle.
Yeah.
They don't want to get into the fight, but what can they do?
Yeah. So, I mean, the movie also addressed that in Hong Kong, when there's a lack of same-sex recognition of same-sex marriage, or there's no legal framework to address it yet. what could you do, really? I mean, one thing that you could do is really to write a will. I mean, that is one way to protect your partner. And I think I was very, very surprised when I was interviewing a lot of these couples. Most of them didn't have the will.
A lot of time they don't even understand the significance of getting married. In Hong Kong, there have been quite a few same-sex couples that have the courage to challenge the law. And the law in this respect is overwhelmingly clear. You are not married, then you are not married. No matter how long you have been together, how close you two are together, or how distant you two are together, once you're married, you are married. And just because Hong Kong doesn't allow same-sex marriage doesn't mean that you cannot get married somewhere else. And indeed, we have come across many cases nowadays during COVID, they were doing online wedding.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't remember which state of America, but they allow online wedding.
Okay.
But that shows that it is important to get married. Having the will, the other legal documents in place, I mean, a proper estate planning, of course, is important to cater for the unknown. But at the same time, the relationship, how are how are the two of them going to manage the relationship? How do they see each other? Sometimes in a relationship, we do not renew our vow, for example, right? People gradually grow old together. It become not a passionate, but a very long-lasting relationship. Sometimes they don't talk about something that is important, like what if one day I'm no longer around? Especially when we're talking about the age, people are going older and older, and they might become necessary to get care. And is the other half obliged to provide the care? What sort of care did they expect from another? And how do they want each other to look after each other? And what if neither of them cannot look after each other and themselves?
Right.
What would be the plan?
Yes.
Yeah. It only requires planning, discussion, long-term discussion, also looking at not only the legal planning, but also financial planning.
Yes. Yeah.
They might give you the next topic for your next movie.
Yes. I mean, in a lot of the post-screening Q&A, we also, address that because a lot of people said that, I don't have a will. And then we start talking about, you should kind of like also consider having, different documents, any other kind of legal protections to help you. Say if you're in a coma, you need to have a power of attorney, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And one step further is actually the elderly care. If you think about it, in other places, other countries, they may have better elderly care, like assisted living or full-time care. In Hong Kong, sorry to say, but most of the elderly homes are horrible. Are so sad. And a lot of them are homophobic as well. They simply don't understand what is it like for same-sex couple to want to live together, to try to be with each other when they cannot look after themselves. It is a very real topic that I don't think a lot of people have thought about it.
No, absolutely. I mean, that was one of the topics that I addressed in Suk Suk. Was about the lack of care for aging people in Hong Kong, and particularly in the LGBT communities, when a lot of them were rejected by their families. So they are alone. Basically, they've been living alone for many years, and they are afraid to tell their neighbors that they're gay. So therefore, they are very isolated. And once when they are unable to look after themselves, they really don't know what to do. They have no one to turn to. And they're very afraid of going into a old people's home because of the homophobia atmosphere that you were talking about. So therefore, that was one of the topics that I addressed.
That's fantastic. And the premiere, you have Grand Pride. Who is an organization targeting that demographic. of elderly people who are lacking care. So the whole thing is very meaningful. And probably that's why the movie itself is so well received by the audience.
Yes. I think everybody who came to watch All Shall Be Well, a lot of them were tearing up, particularly I think from the female community, lesbian community, because in one screening I was very touched because this woman came up to me and she held my hand and then she said that I've been waiting for this movie for 30 years.
My God, really?
She said because forever, we never ever see ourselves represented on screen. And the first 15 minutes of your film, I was already crying because I've never really seen myself and my partner and our daily lives, our relationship being shown on the screen and being accepted. And everybody in the audience didn't go, oh, disgusting or anything. She said, I was so touched. And then she said she was really just crying. And I just felt, wow, okay, this is, because that for me wasn't the touching part, you see, that was just the setting up the whole, the whole premises of the script, of the movie. But actually, by doing that, showing themselves on screen was already something that is very important for some of them.
It must be true because the mainstream media has been demonizing the LGBT community. Most of the time, they are just sissy, or they're just evil, or they only they drink herbal teas.
Yeah, or they're a joke, basically, right?
Yes, they're basically jokes. They don't understand that actually there's nothing different for a same-sex couple to live a long-lasting relationship with a heterosexual couple. They might have less to worry about, such as the children, but they will have their pets, they will have their daily lives. The daily life may not be as fabulous or glamorous as most of the mainstream media would portray.
Right.
Yeah. Those young people going out, having party, having multiple relationships, living with each other, different people every night. Sorry, not every one of us do that.
Yeah.
And we don't do it all the time. When I'm 60-something years old, who was stupid us, right? Yeah. Speaking about a party, how was Berlin at the biennial?
It went very well. I mean, we were very lucky that they spotlighted the movie by featuring in the second day of the screening of the festival. And we were very lucky that we actually won the Teddy Award, which is for the award for the LGBT movies, Best Feature. And we also won one of the audience award as well. So
it was well received by the audience.
Yeah, double happiness.
Wonderful. The point that I want to ask is, how does the Western society perceive the relationship portrayed in your movie that is actually very Chinese?
Well, it's funny, that is very universal in a way because, again, a lot of people have experience of having lost someone that's very close to them, very dear to them. So I think that part doesn't change. And then when we were during the post-screening Q&A, a lot of people who just voiced their opinions and they said this movie is not really just about the LGBT community because heterosexual people also have the same issues as well if you're not married.
Especially when nowadays so many people are questioning what's the point of getting married?
Yeah. And I was very surprised. I thought in Europe they would have addressed that already, but actually no. In a lot of countries in Europe, they also have the same issues. If you're not married, even if you're a heterosexual couple, you still have a lot of these issues about rights. Who has the rights to make decisions in a hospital? Who has the rights to, get the body if there's an accident, or about funeral rights and all that. Not to mention about the inheritance.
Actually, that reminds me of a seminar that I did at an international conference around 2 years ago. We were comparing the Hong Kong system with the Australian system when they recognize de facto relationship. That is, for example, when two people live together for 2 years, husband and wife, they are almost like they have been married. They're married. And that creates a lot of controversy and legal issue as well. So there's no one answer fit all. Some people think that, they've been together for so many years, their relationship to be recognized. Some people are saying that, no, they decide not to get married. Why should they have the right of a married couple? Yeah, so it is a very controversial subject.
Yeah.
That perhaps it will become your next topic.
Maybe.
Yeah. How is it? How is the movie going to be released in other countries?
We are going to release the movie in September in New York and then the rest of America, and then going to release it in Taiwan in November, Switzerland in October actually. So I'll be going around. We also sold to France and Spain and a few other countries, Israel, a few other countries in Europe. So we will be touring. Yeah.
Wow, this is. I mean, receiving the response from the audience from many other countries would be very interesting.
Yes, I think it would be good to actually talk to people about what the situation is in Hong Kong and then what the situations are in their own countries, because some of them have already legalized same-sex marriage for many years. Some have different kind of legal frameworks to address it. And in Hong Kong, as you know, we were supposed to be having a legal framework addressing same-sex couples in the next 9 months or year and a half, right? But nothing seems to have been done so far. So let's see how that goes as well.
Changing the law.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't know how it's going to look like.
Right, but is there any kind of sort of like action from the government or any movements, do you know?
Well, I have no idea, to be honest, because given the government track record, I have to manage my expectation properly.
Right, but there's already, there should be a timeline, right?
There should be a
2
timeline.
years. Correct. And over 8 months has gone now. So it's not that much time left.
I'm sure our lawmakers are taking their time to consider this thoroughly.
Okay, all right.
Will LGBT story be your next subject as well, like project as well?
Well, I am open actually at the moment, as I said, because I will be traveling for the next 6 months. So I'm not really thinking about the next project until after this movie has been released, at least a few more countries, because I will still be doing a lot of interviews and things. Then I think I'll take a break and then really start thinking about what's the next thing. But you never know, because like with this movie, what happened was that because I went to that talk. Yeah. And that was the time during I was promoting Suk Suk 2020. Yes. So that happened, and that led me to go and meet those women. Exactly. And that was the time that Suk Suk was still doing the circuit. Yeah. So maybe tomorrow, maybe this afternoon, maybe now, there's a topic suddenly make me want to explore. Inspiration comes everywhere. At any time, anywhere. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Thank you very much for today. Okay. And let me just say once again how grateful I am towards you. Many projects that put the LGBT story into mainstream, into major, that receives due attention from the public. That contributes substantially to the overall campaign of having LGBT right recognized properly. Okay, and you're going to make me cry now, is it? Only if you will cry. All right, thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Một, hai, ba,紅綠燈，過馬路意思得啊！姜陣陣，姜屋企有。喂，香哥要半斤冬菇，先飲杯先。係啊。喂，中秋節快樂啊！中秋節快樂！哇！每人一支餐啦嚇。
Angie， 根據香港法例，胡女士嘅所有資產都會由佢嘅近親所繼承。
咁係咪即係包括 Angie 而家住緊嗰個單位啊
？Angie 可唔可以繼續住喺嗰度㗎？
呢啲遲啲先講啦。
親人喺前排，朋友排親人後面。
唔好意思，你唔可以用個保險相住。
講到錢咧，就算阿媽同個仔咧都冇情講啊。
點解我哋唔買咗 Pat 姑姐個單位，然後分4份，咁咪個個都開心咯？
就算阿 Pat 喺度啊，佢都贊成我咁做啦。